So today it's my honour and privilege to be cleaning out the chickens' run. They don't appreciate it and it's not a job I particularly look forward to, but at least it's been dry, which means it's going to be quite easy to get everything out. So every couple of months I have to take all the hay and chicken manure out of the chicken's cage and put it onto the compost. I have the quite deep hay. I get a hay bale from a lady locally, and I put the hay down, and it helps give them something to scratch around in, gives somewhere for the manure to go through and disappear down below so it doesn't all smell, and it's fantastic fertiliser which I put on the compost and then I can dig it all through. So today I'm going to have to catch the chickens as opposed to the pigeons. Believe me, they do not appreciate it. These are not pet chickens, they are egg laying chickens and they don't appreciate being handled. We haven't done a lot of handling of the chickens, so trying to catch them, it mostly entertains people, I'm afraid, as we do this. So I'll catch the chickens, and then I've got a temporary cage set up for them over on one of the beds over there, so they'll have a nice place to scratch around in, lots of weed seeds to eat because there's plenty of weeds in the garden, probably find some grubs and insects and things, probably have a dust bath because it's sunny today. I've got a roof over them, which is some boughs from the trees that John's been cutting down, so that'll give them a nice bit of shade, and I'll make sure of course that they have water. So I'll just take everything out, and then I will take all the hay out and put it on the active compost bin at the moment, activate it really well, and then I'll go and get a hay bale, put it all in, clean it all up, make sure everything's all fresh for them, and then the chickens will go back in again. So that's what I'm doing today. It's not too sunny, so I shouldn't get too hot. It should be good. The bit I'm not looking forward to really is the moving of the chickens, but Rocket will be very excited about it, and believe me, I will not be wearing flip-flops. So as you can probably see, the floor of the chicken's run is actually flagstones. That was why we chose to put the chicken run here, because we do have a lot of foxes around here. So this way it makes sure that the foxes can't dig under. When John built Cluckingham Palace, he sank the corners and the edges down into the soil around the flagstones. So it's great in terms of stopping Mr. Fox from getting in, but it does make it slightly more challenging in terms of, you know, where does all the chicken manure go to when they've because they do produce a prodigious quantity of manure. Only 6 chickens, 5 or 6 chickens, there's a lot of manure. I've tried various ways of trying to manage the inside of their run, because we can't let them out because they'll just scratch our vegetables, and then you end up with chicken manure in your bare feet in the garden, which also isn't very nice. So we have finally decided on sweep it out, put sand down. So we've got sand that we had from a friend of ours, one of our wonderful neighbours, dug out some sand from underneath their patio, and we've inherited it. So I put sand down. It also means that they've got something to do a bit of a dust bath in. Then we put the hay down, or the straw down, and they've got quite a thick amount of straw, so there's something for them to scratch around in, and it also soaks things up and it stops things getting too wet. However, after a number of months, you can see we've got sand, and in there it's going to be a lot of dried chicken poo. So we need to get that out before it starts to smell, because we do have neighbours. Compost it and put the fresh stuff down. So it's secure, it's safe. Mr. Fox has never got in. We've had this for 2 years. We've had absolutely no problems. I don't even close their little hatch at night now. They've just got this nice little neoprene flap going on to stop the worst of the wind coming in. In the winter time, when it's really cold, we can close it at night and open it during the day, but mostly it's warm enough, especially with all the chickens in there. So that's the basic setup for the chicken run. You'll see me shortly. I'll be putting back in their hopper, their food hopper, which means I can leave the food out. They stand on a little treadle, and that means then that they can get their heads in and get the food, but it means that it's the rats can't get into it, so it's safe, and it means that they can eat whenever they need. They've got their water hanging here, so they can't stand in it or knock it over, which is quite good. They've got all these perches, so they do like to sit up quite high. There's 2 here, but these 2 here are their favourites because they're closest to the house, so they can spot when we're coming out to give them some food. And very occasionally they'll fly up to the top here and perch there to keep an eye out for us. Sometimes I like to hang bits of food for them on here. I've got these butcher's hooks, so I just hook them through a hook on the end of the string. That hangs down, and I can attach their vegetables, so it could be some of the vegetables from the garden, like the chard. When that starts to go over, when it starts to flower and bolt, then chickens enjoy that. Lettuces, apples, all sorts of things. You can just hang them up, and they enjoy having a peck and a jump at them. I also have a dust bath I put down here for them. It's only there for when it's dry, otherwise it just gets a mud bath. So that's pretty much the setup in here. I did have a mirror in case they wanted to look at themselves, but they weren't interested. We have a xylophone for them in case they feel musical, but they don't. They just perch on it and poo. So yeah, that's the chicken house. That's the chicken run, and I'm going to carry on sweeping up the rest of the chicken manure for the compost pile. So I think the chickens have enjoyed their little day out. They've had a nice dust bath. We've moved them a couple of times, so they've eaten the weeds over there. Much as they don't enjoy the actual being moved bit, and I can't say I enjoy doing that either, I do think they are quite happy to be out and about. A little bit of sunshine. Hope you like their thatch here. Stops them escaping because I don't clip their wings. So I'm going to put them back in their nice clean cage in their run. I've actually got new homes for 3 of the chickens, so they're going to their new home tomorrow, and I'll be picking up 4 new chickens tomorrow. Yes, so they've enjoyed it, probably more than I have. So on behalf of Princess Leia, Caroline, Foggy, Vera and Nera, I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. The chickens are very happy to be back home again. So if you like the video, please like, subscribe press the little bell so that you get notified of any new videos. And until next time, happy chickening!